Hey Ophiuchus, welcome to your reading. All right, for those of you that are new, this is an energy channel, and so sometimes what I'm shown by Spirit will not be traditional. All right, this is your 2024 reading. This is actually going to Patreon and the early purchase program first, and then it will come to you guys. And on YouTube, if you are just seeing this on YouTube, if you would like to join Patreon, it is donation based, and you can get extendeds anytime at the purchase program. It's all linked down below, or you can find all of that and personal readings, everything else at mindsetunicorn.me. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. Okay, clearing out old inner childhood wounds, crossing the bridge to create a brand new fire, like a brand new creative spark. Okay, by clearing this, this does create a new birth, but it puts your heart on pause for a minute, okay? This is going to be a very creative cycle for you. Make sure that you acknowledge all that you're creating over this time, okay? Because again, so we will not have any Venus retrogrades next year. And so it makes a little bit of sense, Ophiuchus, that you might not having that reprieve. You may feel that you've got to really work on the creativity, and it might be a struggle to put that heart space on pause and leave it open. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. I'm going to pull. Oh, let me move that one. We don't need that one over there. We're going to pull out the, thank you Spirit, the quarters first, and then we are going to do the months. Okay, thank you Spirit. I'm tipping everything over here. Last year I had the bigger desk, and so there's not as much room this year, and I keep forgetting that, and so I was doing some homework earlier for my master's that I'm working on in psychology. So all right, so quarter one, the mystic. Okay, really opening up your third eye to activate those wishes. Okay, for some of you, maybe this is a Kundalini awakening that you're dealing with, which is why it flows down to that source code and then opens back up. Now, if this is, that explains why second quarter, you've got a little bit of fear attached with this awakening, right? Make sure that you are really working on yourself if that's the case, but there's something fearful and you're trying to control it, okay? Quarter three, we've got a lot of spiritual growth. It's like you're kindly, all right, coming into this care and giving of yourself. And quarter four, I think that you start seeing those dreams start to take up root in your real life. So let's go ahead and see what's going on. Would you quit eating your toe beans behind me? Thank you. You take up all of my butt space, and then you lick your toes. January, thank you. February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Underlying the loving woman. Oh, very good. I think that there's this knowing that if you can let go of things, then that the heart will just kind of take care of itself, so to speak. All right. So January, we've got behind the mask. Okay. So I do feel like whatever movement you're making forward, you're not showcasing. I do feel like there's a little bit of uncomfortable energies here. I mean, if you look at this, her arm is disembodied from her body, and this is the feminine arm. And so there is this sort of disconnect that you're dealing with. Now, I will tell you, as I've been doing a lot of studying on the Kundalini more lately, that you can have weird things happen with your body when you are going through these kind of processes. Don't bark. And maybe you're requiring some yoga to move yourself in a way to help the energies flow. Okay. Or somebody was talking to me today about using, I think they said Qigong. Okay. And that's very, very helpful. February, okay, the challenge is that you're back and forth and you feel like you're teetering on this it's like a very tall lighthouse, so to speak, and you're teetering back and forth, and it could be trying to balance yourself. It does feel like by March, the cycle, this first cycle, no matter what, is complete and you start feeling like you're moving forward. But again, they're showing me all of the Kundalini energies. So it could just be that you're going to start clearing random Kundalini energies. I don't know. For some of you, it's just that you start seeing an increase in the things that you've created. All right. So let's take a look here then at what is going on now that he has moved. January, disembodied mask. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, 9 of air and the 8 of healing. So you are nervous about this productivity, but it is going to bring, once the healing happens, it's like sweet energies, nectar, honey. They also call the Kundalini like secretion, right? Nectar. So again, for some of you, this is your Kundalini. Well, we don't always have just one, but this is a big Kundalini awakening. We also have the messenger of fire and the 4 of fire. So at the same time, I feel like that this is happening. There's this desire to really move forward, determination to show up, but you don't want to show. Again, there's this aspect of I do not want to show anyone what's going on with me. And this could be maybe you just had a child and that's why you're having this impact. This could be that you are really under stress because of your responsibilities. And you're trying to really just look at everything. But I almost feel like you have this inner child part of yourself that's like, what are we doing? Okay. The back and forth. 4 of air in reverse. So you might see a lot of 11-11, but it's like you don't feel that you're getting enough time to heal. You know you have to heal, but there's a lot pulling you away from that safety, that sanctity of your healing space. Okay. And then this increase brings happiness. Okay. But you might not even really see that happiness because you're really working on this root chakra. They're showing me cacao ceremony. We've got the goddess of fire. Her fire's not lit. She's using the fire for the cacao, and the cacao is for the heart, right? For the heart space. And she's just sitting here working diligently on this. Well, this sun is showing up very vulnerably, going, hey, we're happy. Hello? Okay. Ace of Earth, don't forget all the secret tools that you've kind of brought forth in your life before that you can still use now, right? It's kind of like, I had something going on the other night and I was like, what can I do? And then I remembered, oh, Kilpeba. I'll just take that and then that will help. And it did. Okay. So don't forget the tools that are already in your toolbox. All right. So, April, the challenge here is that here's the bridge now, right? We were talking about the bridge before, and that bridge showed up after dealing with the inner child, which we saw in March. And then you're really going to be able to ground down into your root chakra. That could be when the Kundalini finally makes its way down to that root chakra, okay? And so this transformation, there's a little fear and a little bit of challenge about crossing this bridge to this new sort of world or identity that you've created. In May, you feel very foggy, very distant from family and friends, and kind of keeping yourself back and away. But I love that by June, you feel just renewed. You see the blessings ahead. There's a kindred partnership here that maybe you've manifested as you went through this transformation. So I really love that. Transformation in April, 7 of Earth. It is a process, but it's a growing up, right? Inner child integrating, so to speak, into you. Friends and colleagues here in May, the 3 of Air. So you don't feel connected to people the way you used to. That will happen sometimes when we're going through any sort of spiritual work. And no matter what you're going through, whether it's just trying to manifest, getting deeper into the law of attraction, you are going through a cycle of coming through this release and kind of letting go of things that are stuck, that are not meant for you. June, kindred partnership, and the 9 of Cups. So that's beautiful. You feel back at home. Whether this is something new or a return because you finally feel back to yourself, it is a coming home because the salmon always knows its way home. And the underlying is this 10 of Earth. And so it's kind of seeing that the path ahead looks very magical. Okay. July, there's a commitment here that gets signed. Spiritual growth. It could be new soul path energies. It could be new, any sort of contract. Okay. New job, new home, anything you can think of. It'll be different for each one of you. In August, there's the conflict, okay? I feel like emotionally, you're going to have, and I just got chills, right, of the Kundalini. So I feel like you're going to have a massive 8-8 portal leading into the eclipse in September. September, though, that eclipse is a welcome awakening here. You're like, I welcome this eclipse, okay, into my status quo. So July, commitment. Okay, it is part of the journey. And you're walking into a space where it's a very flat emotion. Everybody else has already left for the winter. There's nothing growing. That's a little bit of the devil sort of energy here. But it's almost like you're taking on the task that nobody else would. Okay. The conflict here, thank you, Spirit, in August, it could be that you feel like your ancestors dumped this on you. Okay. But they're telling me the only way forward for you and your inner child is to work through it. Because you've got the Pilgrim, the Fool coming out here with the Four of Cups. It's almost like this is something that you've signed the contract for and you have to complete it in order to really have this movement forward. The September status quo, Nine of Fire and the Craftsman of Earth. I think that you've figured out how to work on it, how to get rid of it, block it from having any more impact on you, right? And it may not be completely done for all of you, because they are showing me, I don't know if it's a lunar eclipse or not, but they are showing me 2 lunar eclipses. And so it may take you may just take a break for your heart's sake and be like, I'll get back to this at the next solar eclipse cycle. Okay. October, there's a milestone in, I feel like whatever this kinship energy that comes through in June, it hits a big milestone. For some of you, this is somebody brand new that just feels like home, or something brand new that just feels like home. And you finally hit the milestone of really feeling like your cup is full, like you're getting what you need out of it. And I think that's because the things you've manifested are starting to land in your world. But this is why I laughed when I was putting out your cards, okay? And I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing because of my own personal experience, okay? November, family in reverse. Some of you, and this is right underneath, we have the separation from, we have the back and forth, separation from family and colleagues, right? We have the conflict, and then family in reverse. Some of you are slowly going through a cycle with some sort of family member or friend that you feel that's like family, right? Where come next November, you're like, I'm not putting up with this anymore. So in December, you are like, you're like, I'm so open and everything is dreamy, but there's hidden motivations here. And maybe you do let family back in, but it's for a specific reason. Milestone, Six of Earth. Okay, again, there's the portal where you, and this is right underneath the journey. So I feel like you've gotten through this to the other side, right? And that's why you feel pretty free of what you're going through. November, family in reverse, Two of Fire. Okay, Spirit in my head said, damned if I do, damned if I don't. Okay. This is the center of a labyrinth. And they're also showing me that this stick kind of looks like a wishbone, but it also looks kind of like a, is it the word just moved out of my head. I want to say that they said it's a, is it called a dowsing rod where you're finding the water? But once you get to the center of this, once you get to the center of this labyrinth, then you're like, I want to go find the water, but you can't get to the center because it's guarded by serpents. Now, they're also showing me that the serpents intertwined is also a symbol of medical. So for someone, once you find out that somebody's having a medical problem, that could be why you end up finally going back home, despite the fact that there are snakes at home. Okay. Hidden motivations. Thank you. The messenger of air and the ace of water. It's like, I want to hug you. I want to hold you. I want to connect with my deepest self. I can see in the emotions, and I can find a way here with my emotions to go ahead and make do with this. But it's funny because they're showing me that this frog is waiting for whatever's coming down the waterfall in hopes that it can have dinner, so to speak. So I need to refill. I need to deal with this before I can move ahead. Again, you're still on this path, and I feel like it's a very personal but also very collective sort of path. But there's a lot of beauty along the way, a lot of magic along the way. But some of it may feel like a burden, Spirit says. Can I get a card for the year here? Thank you. Going against the grain. And it's this staying out of your thoughts, and again, trying to keep your emotions open, because you're seeing the true you as you go through this. Can I get some advice for Ophiuchus, Spirit? Thank you. 8 of Cups. Okay. I do feel like there is a sense of saying goodbye. 4 of Air. And there's a struggle as you go through a lot of this to heal, because again, there are 2 different sort of pathways here with that 2 of Fire. You'll know which serpent is going to shed their skin and change their ways. And that'll give you the direction of which path to take. 7 of Air. I feel like the angels are going to show you, because of everything you've done, what the truth is here. And there's the Queen of Water. And as such, you adapt. You find the emotions. And it's like you switch places. Like you let that salmon go back into the water, back into the homeland, right? Almost like that birthing process happening. And you can come out of the water. Thank you, Spirit. Yeah. And then again, we come back to that sort of beginning energy, that Page of Fire with the 6 of Fire. I feel like whatever you start at the beginning of the year, by the time you get to the end of the year, you are sort of walking on sunshine, like you're pretty solid. Okay. So let's go ahead and see if we can get a spirit animal here to help you. Thank you, Spirit. Yeah, it's a year of adaptation. We've got the lizard coming out here. A year of adaptation, and you can see all the Kundalini colors. That's a chameleon. So again, for some of you, this is your year of a big Kundalini awakening. And we've got the swan that came out kind of sideways. That's the mirroring, and the swan is one of those symbols for divine love. So I do feel that the way this is coming out is it's almost like partway through the year, ta-da, I see what I'm supposed to see, what I'm supposed to be mirroring, what my heart wants. Okay. So let's close it off here. a little oracle message. Thank you, Spirit. And we started off, I love this, with the loving woman, who's a 6. And we're ending with the masculine lunar god, who is also a 6. After the swans. This is Spirit's way of telling you these challenges, trust them. You're protected. Your healing is protected. There may be a few towers in all of this. Try to keep the optimism open. But this is going to be a big, beautiful year for you. And by the end, things will start to land. Even if it's hard, because I do feel like some of you are going to have some hard things in that last quarter, but there's also some milestones. So it's a balance. All right. So I hope this helps you. I'm going to go over and do the extended that you're actually going to see first on YouTube. And for those seeing this on Patreon or that have purchased it, know that this is already on YouTube, the next piece that's coming first this time. I know, Spirit's a little confusing me this week, okay? So, I love you guys. Have a very beautiful week. Bye. And then it says I don't want to stop.